Good morning, Facebook. We hit a big milestone yesterday. Our videos are being watched now 200,000 times a week. So thank you if you are one of those viewers. And I think one of the reasons the videos are so popular is because I'm trying to give accurate, real, truthful analysis of what's going on. So yesterday I did a little video about gun-related deaths and gun violence in response to the House resolution dealing with Gun Violence Awareness Day that they want to propose. So I actually spent most of the evening last night digging into the real numbers. Now, the CDC produces a report called the National Vital Statistics Report, and I've included that in this link. Take a look at it for yourself. Basically, they capture every kind of death in the United States, and including in that would be homicides by guns. So let's look at what the CDC said for 2017. Now, this report was just published in June of this year. It takes a couple years, so we don't know what 18, we certainly don't know what 19 is just yet, but we do know 17, which is just 2 years ago. Firearm deaths in the United States, 39,773. 60% of those were suicides. So, homicidal firearm deaths in the United States in 2017, 14,542. All right. The largest cities the 50 largest cities comprise 5,738 of those deaths. For instance, like Baltimore, which is one of the worst homicide rates in the United States, is included in one of those largest city columns. So if you don't live in one of the top 50 cities, then you have there's about 9,000 deaths occurring everywhere else in the United States. So let's just think about those numbers, and then let's think about this. There are 327 million people in the United States. There is at least 250 million guns in the United States. And last year, even including gangs, there was 14,500 homicides by firearms in the United States in 2017 with those numbers. That sounds like a lot, but get this. 73,990 people died from drugs. 35,823 people died from alcohol-related accidents, and 75,354 people died from poisoning, which are generally mostly, I would think, suicidal in nature. So, those are the statistics. Those are the true statistics. Now, that's national. Let's talk about Virginia. This is the fun part of the analysis. We're hearing from Richmond that we need comprehensive gun control in Virginia. We need restrictions. We need all of these things. Well, Virginia Beach is the largest city in Virginia. And in 2017, there were some homicides in Virginia by firearms. Can you guess how many? 15. 15, 1-5. 15 people were killed in the city of Virginia Beach in 2017 by firearms. So, do we need to criminalize millions of Virginians who own lawful firearms to address 15 people that have been killed by firearms in Virginia Beach? Now, clearly, this year the numbers are higher because of the guy at the municipal center, but nonetheless, 15 for 2017 have died from gun-related violence. So those are your numbers. Now, I'm going to be speaking tomorrow night in Poquoson, Chesapeake on Tuesday, and Hampton on Wednesday, and I'm going to be talking about these numbers because somebody has to really talk about the truth. When we take 327 million people and we divide it into 14,542, we have a very, very low rate of homicide by gun, per capita, by population. Now, a lot of people will say, well, we can look at the suicide numbers and throw those in there. Well, guns are pretty much illegal in Japan, And Japan has a 3 times suicide rate than the United States. In fact, most people in Japan, when they kill themselves, they throw themselves in front of buses. And in Japan, or trains. And in Japan, if your family member kills themselves by throwing themselves in front of a train because it's such a big problem there, they actually charge the family a fee. It's in the culture that if your family member kills themselves, there's a cleanup fee and your family has to pay for it. So incorporating the gun issues with firearms, that's related to suicides. That's, I think what you can compare that to the Japanese numbers. But coming back and just full circling, 14,542 people gunned by death in 2017. 5,700 of those occurred in the largest cities in the United States. And in Virginia, the largest city in Virginia, gun homicides, 15. So when you're speaking to your representatives, the problem, the emergency that they are declaring is grossly not in line with the government's own statistics. All the statistics are here. If you want to find them in that CDC report, I know it's pretty complicated, but they're on page 12 and page 13 of the report. Just skip all the rest because there's a lot of other stuff, but go to page 12 and page 13. You'll see the numbers exactly where I'm at. You have a 3 times greater chance of being killed by a drunk driver than you do by a gun in the United States. Almost, at least between 2 and 3 times more chance of being killed by a drunk driver than you do being shot and killed by someone. You have a 6 times chance of knowing somebody who's going to be killed by an overdose of drugs than somebody who's going to be killed by a gun. Those are the real numbers. That's the truth. Spread it. If you know a Democrat, give it to them because they need to see the numbers because the narrative is not true. All right, have a good day Sunday. Have a good day Facebook on this nice, beautiful Sunday. Take care.